First off, I'd like to thank Dr. Waldron for welcoming me to the stage. It's an incredible honor to be standing in front of this audience today. While you are a captive audience, it's an audience nonetheless. Secondly, thank you to all the family and friends that have traveled near or far to be here. Your support, time, and dedication mean the world to us. Finally, I'd like to thank the faculty and staff of St. Andrews for directing us, and more often than not, pushing our seconds from quitting selves to this finish line tonight. We truly could not have done it without you all. There are numerous others I could thank for successfully getting this class to graduation, but if I listed them all, we would never actually graduate. So this is my all-encompassing thanks. Writing this speech was one of the hardest assignments I had all year. Not only is it a public speaking assignment, but it's also the final words I will say as a St. Andrews student. I had to somehow meet the criteria of being funny, reflective, interesting, and brief. After deleting 4 drafts and every word that came to mind, I panicked. Procrastination had been my best friend throughout high school, so I figured I would hang out with him one last time. On a Tuesday night, the day before I told Miss Sutton I would have a draft of the speech in, it finally came to me. Browsing through countless Snapchat stories of already graduated seniors, I realized that I would rather be with friends than enclosed in a dark room, looking up how much it would cost for someone else to write a speech online. As I didn't have $135, I figured I would do it myself. However, the seemingly unimportant thought had me thinking. Friends have always been a part of my experiences at St. Andrews and have made the good and the bad better. Friends have been the one connecting factor that brought every seemingly jumbled memory together. As a class, our numbers have rarely fluctuated and have hovered around a group of 30 people. It is an impossible task for 30 kids to spend 14 years of their lives together and not know at least a little something about everyone. These are the old friends. The old friends were with me on the first day of pre-K, running around on the playground, playing wildly imaginative games, and dodging cooties like it was the plague. These old friends were with me, making freshly squeezed lemonade and singing and dancing on stage in a much showier kindergarten graduation. In lower school, we moved on to playing soccer or mid-swing wrestling, modeled after the show American Gladiators, much to the dismay of our teachers. As we continued to grow older, the group became more and more like family. The family grew, shrunk, liked each other, didn't like each other, but functioned for the most part. We learned the art of cursive, and at that point, I should have realized that both art and handwriting were not my strong suits. This became a point of frustration as we spent hours writing our weekly note cards, hoping for that perfect score on a bag of lemon heads. As we left the Johnson Center and moved to Bell Hall, things got weird. It was a paradigm shift in our tiny worlds, and all sense of direction was lost. The girls became taller than the boys, and, in my case, remained taller. And the school dances were misnomers for awkward shuffle fests. We got fancy new school iPads, and raced to beat each other in whatever game was popular that week. Sadly, that was short-lived, as the games category in the App Store was quickly blocked by our friendly neighborhood IT guys. Friends were right there with you when you served break detentions for talking in class or accidentally hitting your buddy in the eye with an apple. Big men in hazmat suits were there when that same buddy broke a mercury thermometer during a science experiment, temporarily shutting down the room. Apparently you can't play with that stuff anymore. Finally, friends were there to celebrate with you on that last day of 8th grade, as we had high school in our sights and dreams just waiting to be crushed. These dreams had yet to fall our first year, and we began our long reign as the class with the best homecoming float. However, freshman year put us through a test that no class should have to endure: the loss of a friend. I still vividly remember leaving health class on that Friday, joking around with him in Russian and Australian accents, unaware of the new reality we would live in that next week. Our class came together, closer than before, and stronger than before, and with the will of his family, we continued on. Our paths diverged as we had more options to choose from and classes to take, and the direction that was lost in middle school began to show up again. We entered our junior year, bright eyes and bushy tails, the end of the road just out on the horizon. However, before we could reach the finish line, we had to meet our biggest academic challenge yet. This came in the form of 2 letters I hope to only see again when I'm citing footnotes in a history paper or talking about a large wading bird with a long down-curved bill: IB. The classes, while assisted by some of the most fantastic teachers, were miserably hard. Sleep was never a priority, and I finally understood why we were voted one of the most challenging high schools in the country. Despite these challenges that we face together, the unifying theme is our friendship that has carried us through each transition. As I go into the future, I hope gaining a lifelong friend is as easy as walking up to some dude named Ben and asking, "Hey, do you like Star Wars?" So long, and thanks for all the fish.